Hello, sports fans. It's been a long day, a good day. Had some great visits from my cousins. Took my mom out to the old Harry's store. I think it's called the Fairmount Avenue Country Store or whatever. They have the greatest cheeseburgers in the world there. My cat Jerry has been going in and out of the house, hasn't run away. He's very comfortable with being here, and I'm just taking a look at the news and I noticed something very interesting that we're trying to help Japan by lowering the value of the Japanese yen. Now, let me get this straight. You have a country that has had all kinds of things destroyed, all kinds of things destroyed, and they're going to have to replace a lot of this stuff. They're going to have to buy a lot of this stuff. They're going to have to buy probably a lot of oil, and the world community is upset that the value of the yen is too high. So in conjunction with, I guess, their premier or whatever they have there, their government, they want to lower the yen to where it was relative to U.S. dollars or whatever. And to me, this whole thing is so mind-boggling. In the sense, here are these people who have been destroyed. They're ready to have a meltdown. They have all kinds of problems. They have all kinds of expenses and the whole world's upset that the value of their money has gone up. They want to bring it down because they say they won't be able to export. Well, let me tell you, right now, the least of the problems is exporting. Um, the biggest problem they have is replacing what they had destroyed, and a lot of that's going to come from overseas, including the oil that's going to be used to generate electricity and fuel to heat the houses that were previously heated by nuclear power. So obviously, I am no genius on this issue, but you'd think they'd let them enjoy this newfound wealth for a month or whatever, and then they can worry about their then they can worry about lowering the value of their dollar. I mean, in this country, of course, we know that the dollar is going to tank and that whatever you have in the bank is going to be worthless. We know that. I mean, right now the United States is the international currency, and eventually it won't. Uh, China is concocting, I guess, some other type of monetary denomination and wants to work some deals with Saudi Arabia. You know, and the only reason why the dollar is worth anything is evidently today, if someone wants to buy a barrel of oil, they have to come up with so many U.S. dollars. And so they're forced to use U.S. dollars. Now, that's not going to last. That's not going to last forever. And when it isn't the case, we're going to have some serious problems. We have so much debt. Um, and then, of course, we have Libya, which I've been really amused with. Apparently, that if you get a bunch of people, or get enough people, let's say we had, I don't know, let's say we had, 10, 20% of the population rushing Washington, D.C., apparently the National Guard can't come out and restrain us with force. So apparently we can rush the Congress and the Senate and the President of the United States and take over the thing. I don't know if that's what they're saying. That's what our government's saying, that as long as people feel like they're oppressed, they can take matters in their own hand. To me, it sounds like a pretty bad deal. I think it's going to set world security back a long, long time because apparently, I don't know if there's any real criteria as to what constitutes making a country bounded by laws. It's very interesting, and especially the UN, who has given Libya, special treatment, special consideration on certain, I think, human right issues or whatever. To me, this is really crazy. Now, I have no love for Mr. Gaddafi. He's a nutcase. He's responsible for killing Americans. Um, but the fact that we're surprised that he's using force to stay in power, to beat back a roving army that's trying to take him over, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. I mean, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe we should have, Maybe we need Dr. Phil. What do you think? We'll get Dr. Phil in here and just tell him, sit Gaddafi down and say, you know, you have some real issues here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to like Club Med or something, get you feeling good about yourself, and you know, let the people be free. So, you know, if you're talking about damage in no-fly zones because civilians are being killed, I mean, how many civilians did we kill in Iraq? How many civilians did Israel kill in Palestine? Now you could make the point, well, the army's hiding out with the people, but apparently when we kill people who are hiding out, unfortunately are forced to be with military people who hang out with them. I guess that's the whole thing. You just take hostages, and the army can't get you. Is that what we're talking about here? That if an army can just take hostages, then the people in power can't go after the bad guys. I thought we didn't negotiate with terrorists. Not to say that Gaddafi isn't a terrorist, but the UN recognizes government. I mean, they have a person in the UN. So if this guy was so terrible, what the hell is the UN so pissed off about? The fact that he was using draconian measures now? Well, he was using draconian measures before, and he used draconian measures when he was responsible, I think, for blowing up our Pan Am plane. But then again, the North Koreans torpedoed and sank a South Korean boat. So that's not a problem either. Let me tell you, folks, the UN is an evil. And one of the evil organization. And one of these days, they're going to turn against us. And one of these days, you're going to see blue helmeted people running in our streets, picking up your guns, and maybe even saying, hey, you know that house you have, it's kind of big, you really don't need that, we're going to have some people move in with you or whatever. And you know that money you saved all your life in the bank, and you didn't take vacations, and you didn't go to Wally World, and you didn't piss it away on gambling and lottery tickets, we're going to take that away from you too, because you really don't need it. So we have some very serious issues, folks, and this is not a matter of being Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever. The fact of the matter is that Titanic is sinking, and you can rearrange the deck chairs in every conceivable pattern you want. You can have them running the lengthwise, sidewise, diagonal, alternate, make like a nice checker design or something. Turn some facing each other, but the ship's sinking. And all the arranging of the deck chairs is not going to do a damn thing, and that's what we're doing here. There's certain people trying to take some bold action, but they're deemed terrible people. We're still looking at Channel 13 moaning and groaning about not getting funding. Well, they only get 10% of their funding from the government, so you're saying they can't cut back 10% and keep the important funding and eliminate some of the crap? I mean, what's his name? Shapiro. What's his name? Was it Robert Shapiro? I forget his name at this point. He's WNTV. He's making over 400 grand. You think you could find someone for 200 grand that might be able to do a halfway decent job, and not have to wear gaudy suspenders and tell me that I have to give him money, and if I don't, I'm a terrible person, and if the government doesn't give him money and pay for his lifestyle, the government's terrible too. No, you folks really have to wake up. Anyhow, it's been a fairly good day. God bless the Japanese, and God bless those gentlemen who are going to give their lives up to try to get those nuclear power plants under control. I would like to give a little tad bit of advice. Next time you build any nuclear power plant, you have you put a few extra pipes in there, okay? So that, like fire hydrants outside, running to a pipe that goes in the building and goes to critical places, so that if you do have to flood out an area, and you do have to, flood an area, you don't have to have people die to throw water in there, okay? This is a free tip. Just make sure you build in a few extra pipes, so if anything really goes to hell, and everything goes kaplooey, at least you have the option of flooding the thing out and keeping it cool. That's my tip for today. Have a wonderful evening. God bless America. And I don't feel guilty about saying that. Take care.